Have you ever been told someone's pulling your leg and, genuinely wondered if they were literally tugging on your jeans? Or maybe you've heard a colleague say they need to bite the bullet and you've actually pictured them like gnawing on ammunition?
Right. Happens all the time.
If so, you're definitely not alone, and you've absolutely landed in the right place. Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is your essential channel for really mastering advanced English. Today, we're plunging headfirst into the vibrant, often perplexing, but utterly essential world of English idioms. For anyone aiming for that C1 and C2 proficiency level, understanding, and maybe even more crucially, accurately using idioms, well, it isn't just a bonus.
No.
It's pretty much the undisputed gateway to truly natural, nuanced communication. It's how you move beyond speaking correct English to speaking with, the authentic fluency and color of a native speaker.
That's spot on.
Yeah.
This topic is profoundly important for advanced learners because idioms are, well, they're far more than just fancy phrases or quirky expressions.
Yeah.
They are linguistic time capsules, often carrying deep cultural insights, maybe historical echoes, and layers of emotional weight that literal language just cannot convey.
Ah, okay.
Think of them as a kind of secret handshake among native speakers, a shared linguistic shorthand.
A secret handshake. I like that.
Yeah, they reflect collective experiences, common ways of thinking, and a profound cultural understanding that stretches, far beyond the dictionary definition of the individual words. Without them, your English might be grammatically perfect, impeccably structured, totally understandable,
Sure.
but it will inevitably lack that authentic ring, that natural flow that truly separates an advanced learner from an expert user of the language. It really is the difference between merely being understood and truly connecting.
Okay, let's unpack this fascinating realm then. Our mission today is to truly grasp what idioms are, why their structure is so remarkably fixed and precise, and to explore some of their captivating origins and the rich, often surprising metaphors they draw upon. We'll then look at how mastering these expressions can elevate your English from merely proficient to truly powerful and expressive. Get ready for some genuine aha moments, because this isn't just a passive listen.
No.
Your mission for this deep dive is really to engage actively. As we explore these linguistic gems, think about how these insights connect to your own English language journey, and most importantly, how you can apply them immediately to make your communication more natural, impactful, and authentic. So as we dive into idioms, the very first thing that probably strikes you like a lightning bolt from the blue, maybe, is their inherent absurdity if you take them literally. This is where their charm and their challenge lie. Imagine telling someone in English that it's raining cats and dogs. If you pictured actual felines and canines plummeting from the sky,
Wow.
you'd quickly realize the literal meaning is completely nonsensical and, frankly, quite messy.
Very.
This non-literal aspect is the fundamental defining feature of an idiom.
And that non-literal meaning is precisely why idioms are categorized as fixed expressions. Their words, and crucially their word order, are, almost without exception, immutable.
Immutable. Okay. Fixed.
Yeah, you simply cannot change them without either completely altering or destroying the intended meaning, or making yourself sound, well, at best, a little strange. Our research consistently highlights this remarkable precision. For instance, to describe a small, visible part of a much larger, often problematic situation, you say the tip of the iceberg.
Right. Heard that one.
You wouldn't say the top of the iceberg, even though top might seem like a close synonym. The exact word choice is paramount.
So even a tiny change can throw the whole meaning off. That sounds like quite a challenge for learners.
It absolutely is. Consider an expression about the entire span of a human life. It's from the cradle to the grave.
Okay.
You wouldn't say from the cradle to the coffin, despite a coffin being directly related to the end of life.
Right, even though it kind of makes sense literally.
Exactly. The established idiom uses grave, and deviating from that just sounds wrong. Or, if you want to refer to ordinary or unimportant people in general, the idiom is every Tom, Dick, and or Harry could do that job. Never every Tom and Jerry.
Definitely not Tom and Jerry.
The specific combination of names matters. These aren't interchangeable synonyms, they are set phrases.
And it continues to get even more specific, doesn't it? I mean, the examples seem endless.
Yes, the specificities are relentless, but that's what makes them so powerful when used correctly. For example, if you pay for something using your own money, it comes out of your own pocket, not out of your own wallet.
Oh, okay. Pocket, not wallet.
Both relate to money, but only pocket forms the idiom. If someone's in a persistently bad mood, they're like a bear with a sore head, not like a bear with a sore throat.
Right, sore head. Got it.
And when you reminisce fondly about past times, it's invariably the good old days, never the good old time.
The good old days, yeah.
These seemingly minute, often subtle differences in word choice are the absolute key. For C1 and C2 learners, this underscores that while understanding the general concept of an idiom is a vital first step, true mastery demands precise memorization and an acute pattern recognition.
So lots of practice.
It's not about guessing. It's about knowing the exact phrasing, the specific unyielding combination of words that constitutes the idiom. This is where practice, repetition, and diligent observation become your best friends.
That fixed nature certainly feels like a significant hurdle for many learners. But idioms aren't entirely static, are they? I mean, they must have a dynamic side, too, given how language evolves over time.
You've hit on a crucial distinction there. While their internal structure is fixed, meaning you can't swap words within a single garnet, idioms as a whole are not static entities within the broader language.
Okay.
They are living parts of speech that constantly evolve. Some, which were once common currency, gradually disappear from frequent usage, become archaic.
Like old-fashioned words.
Exactly. While new ones emerge to reflect changing times, technologies, and collective experiences, our extensive research particularly emphasizes the risk of using old-fashioned idioms, like as stiff-straight as a ramrod.
A ramrod? What's that?
It's a tool used for cleaning old guns, very straight and stiff. So the idiom describes someone sitting or standing with a very rigid, stiff back. It was common in previous centuries.
Ah, I see.
If you were to use that today, perhaps because you encountered it in a classic novel, it would sound unnatural, maybe even a bit odd to a contemporary native speaker.
Right, kind of out of place.
Precisely. For advanced learners, this implies that staying current with natural modern language usage is absolutely paramount. This deep dive and the comprehensive materials we've explored specifically focuses on up-to-date idioms which are still commonly used, ensuring that you're investing your valuable learning time in language that is truly relevant and effective now. It's about speaking today's English.
That makes sense. Focus on what's actually used. So if they're constantly shifting in terms of relevance, where can we expect to encounter these versatile creatures in the wild, so to speak, of the English language? Are they just for casual chats among friends, or do they pop up in more unexpected places?
Oh, they are remarkably pervasive.
Yeah.
They appear in almost every register of speaking and writing, from the most informal to surprisingly formal contexts.
Oh, really? Formal, too?
Yes. As you might expect, they are particularly common in everyday conversation. This is primarily because they serve as incredibly efficient linguistic shortcuts, adding color, personality, and a layer of shared understanding without the need for lengthy, literal explanations.
They make things quicker, more vivid.
Exactly. They make communication more concise, engaging, and often more humorous. But it's certainly not just casual talk. Idioms are also a staple in popular journalism.
Ah, yes.
Headline writers in particular are masters at playing with idioms, often twisting or punning on them slightly for humorous, dramatic, or attention-grabbing effect. It's a sophisticated linguistic game.
I've definitely seen that. Like in newspaper headlines, they'll use a clever play on words, right? That's a sign of real linguistic dexterity, isn't it?
Precisely. It's a hallmark of advanced language use, both in understanding and production. Take, for instance, a headline our research highlighted: "Delivery delays, part and parcel of post office problems."
Ah, nice. Part and parcel and parcels.
It brilliantly puns on the idiom part and parcel, meaning a necessary or essential part of an event or experience, and the post office's core business of delivering parcels. It's incredibly clever and concise.
Very clever.
Another example we found is fireworks fund, burning a hole in the pocket of city council.
Okay, burning fireworks, burning a hole.
Yeah, this combines the literal burning of fireworks with the idiom burning a hole in your pocket, which means you're eager to spend money as soon as you have it. And a personal favorite of mine for its sheer wit: opticians fail to see eye to eye.
Huh. That's brilliant. See eye to eye. Opticians.
It's a superb pun on the phrase not see eye to eye, meaning to disagree, directly applied to opticians who literally deal with people's eyes. This kind of wordplay is a strong indicator of both advanced language comprehension and the ability to manipulate language creatively, something C1 and C2 learners aspire to.
That's truly fascinating how journalists weave them into headlines. But this challenges a common assumption, doesn't it? Is it true that idioms are sometimes used in surprisingly formal contexts, too? I always thought they were almost exclusively informal.
That's a very common misconception, and addressing it is a key insight for C1 and C2 learners. While it's true that a great many idioms are informal,
Mm-hmm.
our comprehensive exploration confirms that they're also regularly used in more formal contexts, such as academic lectures, serious essays, and even professional business reports.
Wow, okay. Business reports, too.
Yes. The crucial distinction here, and a mark of true advanced mastery, is knowing which idioms are appropriate for which settings, and perhaps even more importantly, which ones are not.
Ah, the register.
Exactly. For example, the phrase, "It is hoped the regulations will open the door to better management," is a perfectly acceptable idiomatic expression that you might find in a formal business report or an academic paper discussing organizational improvements.
Open the door, too. Okay, that sounds fairly formal.
It's concise, clear, and carries a positive connotation of opportunity. Understanding this nuance, the appropriate context and register for each idiom, is what truly distinguishes an advanced speaker from someone who simply knows a lot of words.
Right.
It's not just about knowing what an idiom means, but when and where to deploy it effectively and appropriately, and equally important, when not to.
So the powerful takeaway here for our listeners, especially those at C1 and C2 level, is that it's not enough to just passively recognize idioms when you hear or read them.
No.
The ultimate aim is to internalize them so deeply that you can use them accurately, appropriately, and naturally in your own speech and writing. That's the real challenge, isn't it? And it's where the real linguistic reward lies.
Absolutely, that's
Okay.
the goal.
All right, so we've firmly established that idioms are fixed expressions, sometimes evolving in terms of common usage. And they pop up everywhere, from casual chats to sophisticated newspaper headlines. But what's the deeper story behind the saying? Why these specific words, these particular images?
The origins.
Yeah, many idioms aren't just arbitrary collections of words. They are often profoundly rooted in common metaphors, drawing from universal human experiences, shared cultural understandings, or specific historical contexts. And here's where it gets really interesting, because understanding these underlying origins can make them so much more memorable and provide a much deeper grasp of their meaning and nuance. It's like finding the hidden DNA of the language.
It's precisely that deeper understanding that elevates your proficiency.
Yes.
One fascinating observation from our analysis is how often the language of idioms reflects a particular worldview or cultural emphasis. For instance, in English-speaking cultures, there's a remarkably strong underlying metaphor that equates work with war.
Work with war, really.
Yeah. English speakers frequently view work and business life through the explicit lens of conflict, strategy, and competition. You'll hear companies launch marketing campaigns as if they're military offensives.
Right, like launching missiles.
Or decide to join forces with other companies, like forming strategic alliances. A challenging business situation might be vividly described as a minefield, implying hidden dangers and careful navigation.
Okay, I can see that.
And if a company is badly affected by an economic downturn, it's tragically referred to as a casualty.
Wow. So it's all about strategy, competition, almost like navigating a relentless battleground. This speaks volumes about a certain capitalist mindset, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. This pervasive metaphor highlights the competitive, often aggressive nature attributed to the professional world in many English-speaking cultures. A manager, for example, might pull rank on employees.
Like in the army.
Exactly. Using the authority of their position to enforce a decision, much like an officer in the military. And if something goes wrong, someone might have to get or take the flak, meaning they receive strong criticism, just as a soldier might take the brunt of an attack.
Taking flak.
Or, unfortunately, an employee might get their marching orders and lose their job, an idiom stemming directly from military dismissal.
Marching orders. Fired.
This widespread metaphor truly shapes how we perceive and discuss professional life, emphasizing its often high-stakes and competitive aspects. For advanced learners, recognizing this allows you to understand the subtle, often unspoken implications in business discourse. Another incredibly common metaphorical foundation in English connects understanding with seeing.
Understanding is seeing. How so?
Well, many idioms explicitly equate comprehension with visual clarity. Think about expressions like seeing sense or seeing reason, both of which mean becoming sensible or reasonable after being irrational.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Exactly. If you finally see the point, you understand the importance or purpose of something. And seeing the joke means you finally grasp the humor of a situation or statement. To see the light can mean to suddenly and profoundly understand something complex or abstract.
Right. The light bulb moment.
This pervasive linguistic pattern reveals a fundamental cognitive link in how we conceptualize understanding. Clarity of thought is often expressed through clarity of vision. For advanced learners, recognizing this pattern can provide a powerful heuristic, helping you internalize new idioms that follow similar logical structures and even anticipate meanings.
That's a truly powerful and intuitive connection. And what about emotions? How are those often expressed metaphorically? Colors, maybe.
You got it. Emotions are frequently conveyed through the metaphor of color. Red, for example, almost universally suggests anger or intense emotion, as in, my brother saw red when I broke his phone.
Saw red. Furious.
It implies a sudden, explosive rage. And black is commonly associated with unpleasant feelings, misfortune, or negative outcomes. If you get a black mark for something, it means people perceive you've done something bad, and that negative impression will be remembered against you.
A black mark on your record.
Exactly. This shows how visual symbols are deeply intertwined with our emotional lexicon. Life itself is also frequently viewed through the powerful metaphors of a journey or a gamble.
Life's a journey. Or life's a gamble. Okay.
Someone is at a crossroads. They're at a critical stage in life requiring an important, often difficult decision about direction. If you're going or getting nowhere, you're making no progress at all.
Stuck.
And if something is taking you into uncharted territory or waters, you're venturing into entirely new and unknown experiences. These evoke images of exploration and progression. As for life as a gamble, if you have something up your sleeve, you have a secret plan or advantage, much like a card player might hide a card.
An ace up your sleeve.
Right. And if you bluff your way into or out of a situation, you're using deception or bravado to achieve your aim, mirroring a gambler pretending to have a stronger or weaker hand than they actually do. These metaphors tap into universal human experiences of progression, risk, and strategy, making the idioms highly relatable across cultures.
That's a fantastic way to frame it. Understanding the underlying metaphors gives us a much deeper hook for remembering these expressions, rather than just rote memorization. But let's zoom in on some specific topic areas. You mentioned many idioms have very concrete origins, like in sailing or ancient history, which adds another layer of intrigue.
Absolutely. Take sailing, for example.
Sure.
Britain's history as an island nation with a strong maritime tradition and dependence on the sea has given us a wealth of nautical idioms that are still very much in common use today.
Makes sense.
If a business is described as on the rocks, it's in serious difficulty, much like a ship hitting perilous underwater terrain, facing imminent danger or destruction.
On the rocks. Like a relationship, too, sometimes.
Yes, exactly. It applies more broadly now. To give a wide berth to something means to avoid it entirely, echoing the need for ships to keep a safe distance from dangers like reefs or other vessels. If you cut and run, you're leaving a difficult situation suddenly and quickly, an image that comes from cutting mooring ropes for a hasty, desperate departure.
That makes the idioms so much more vivid. You can almost feel the spray and the urgency.
Indeed, the imagery is potent. To batten down the hatches means to prepare for a difficult or dangerous situation, like closing a ship's doors and windows securely before a storm.
Batten down the hatches. Prepare for trouble.
To run a tight ship means to control an organization or household firmly and efficiently, ensuring everything is in perfect order. If plans go by the board, they're completely abandoned or destroyed, reflecting items being swept overboard in a storm. These maritime origins infuse the idioms with a tangible, dynamic feel that has allowed them to persist in the language for centuries, demonstrating how deeply our environment can shape our vocabulary.
We touched on war and conflict earlier as a general metaphor for work, but there's a whole category of idioms derived directly and literally from military life and combat, isn't there?
Yes, and they carry powerful, often aggressive imagery that speaks to human nature. If parents are on the warpath because school closures are planned, they're angry, determined, and ready to fight for their cause.
On the warpath, ready for a fight.
A call to arms is an urgent invitation to take action, often used to rally support for a cause. Someone can be shell-shocked by surprising or devastating news, left dazed, confused, and deeply affected.
From World War I, right. Shell shock.
Exactly, a term originally from the psychological trauma of trench warfare. To beat a retreat means to leave quickly, often to avoid trouble or an undesirable situation. If you shoot yourself in the foot, you unintentionally do or say something that makes your own situation worse, a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah.
Someone might shoot me down in flames if they immediately harshly criticize and reject my idea. These idioms evoke the intensity and consequences of battle.
They certainly paint a very clear, often dramatic picture.
They do. To hang or hold fire means to delay making a decision or taking action, literally holding back from firing a weapon.
Hold fire, wait.
A fighting chance is a small but real possibility of success, implying you have to battle for it. You join the ranks of a group, like joining an army or a profession, and to steal a march on rivals means to gain an advantage over them by acting before them, often secretly or unexpectedly.
Steal a march. Get ahead sneakily.
These idioms are a testament to how human conflict and military strategy have profoundly shaped our language, providing a vocabulary for struggle, tactics, and consequence in everyday life.
And what about our furry and feathered friends? Animals seem to be an absolutely massive source of idioms. It feels like there are hundreds.
They certainly are, and it's because our observations of animal characteristics often give rise to incredibly vivid and relatable idiomatic expressions that reflect human traits.
Makes sense.
If someone thinks they're the cat's whiskers, they believe they're superior, better than everyone else, a rather arrogant self-assessment.
The cat's whiskers. Huh. Never heard that one used seriously.
It's a bit dated now, perhaps, but still understood. If you haven't got a cat in hell's chance, you have absolutely no chance at all. A dog's life describes a very hard, often unpleasant, and laborious existence.
Poor dogs.
Someone who is a dog in the manger is selfish, hoarding something so others can't use it, even if they don't want it themselves, much like a dog guarding hay in a manger that it can't eat.
Right, from Aesop's fables.
Exactly. To flog a dead horse means wasting time and effort on something that is no longer viable or won't succeed. Information directly from the most authoritative or reliable source comes straight from the horse's mouth.
From the horse's mouth. Very common.
And if you can argue until the cows come home, it means you can argue for a very, very long time, indefinitely.
So many of these animal idioms are often descriptive and sometimes quite critical, right? They highlight flaws or specific behaviors.
Precisely. Many of them carry clear moral or descriptive functions, drawing on perceived animal behaviors to comment on human ones. To sort out the sheep from the goats means to differentiate the high-quality, useful people or things from a mixed or inferior group.
Sheep good, goats bad in this context.
Shedding crocodile tears means pretending to be deeply upset or sympathetic to gain something, when in reality you feel nothing. If you're sick as a parrot, you're extremely disappointed, a very strong feeling of letdown.
Sick as a parrot, often used in football results.
Very common in sports commentary, yes. The saying, "a leopard can't change its spots," means someone's fundamental character or nature won't change, despite attempts to hide it. To cry wolf means to make false alarms too often, leading others to disbelieve you when a real crisis occurs.
From the boy who cried wolf.
A wolf in sheep's clothing describes a dangerous or malicious person disguised as harmless or friendly. And the elephant in the room describes an obvious and significant problem or difficult topic that everyone is aware of but deliberately avoids discussing.
Ah, the elephant in the room. Crucial one.
These expressions reveal how deeply our understanding and often our projections onto animal behavior are embedded in our language, giving us concise ways to critique or describe human traits.
Sticking with the physical, the human body itself provides an incredibly rich source of idioms, often making descriptions very visceral and relatable because they tap into universal experiences: head, hands, feet.
That's absolutely true. Let's look at idioms involving the head and face. To bury your head in the sand means refusing to acknowledge or confront problems, like an ostrich supposedly burying its head.
Which they don't actually do, but the image sticks.
Exactly. To be head and shoulders above someone or something means being significantly superior or much better. One in the eye for someone is a disappointment or minor setback for them, often giving a sense of triumph to another.
A bit spiteful, maybe?
Can be. Having a good head for figures means being adept at mathematics and calculations. To hold or bite your tongue means stopping yourself from saying something, especially when you're tempted to speak out in anger or frustration.
Bite your tongue. Hard to do sometimes.
If there's more to this news story than meets the eye, it means it's more complicated or intriguing than it initially appears. To get your tongue around a difficult name or phrase is to pronounce it correctly. When you put our heads together, you plan or brainstorm something collaboratively.
Let's put our heads together. Good teamwork phrase.
Teething troubles are the initial minor problems encountered in the early stages of something new, like a baby having discomfort when teeth first emerge. If success has gone to his head, it's made him arrogant or overconfident. To get your teeth into a new subject or project is to become enthusiastically and deeply involved in it.
Get your teeth into a good book, yeah.
To lose face means to lose respect or public esteem. If your face didn't fit, your appearance or personality wasn't deemed suitable for a particular role or group, and a face-saving exercise or action is done primarily to maintain respect or avoid public embarrassment.
These really add such precision to everyday descriptions, far beyond what simple adjectives could convey. What about other body parts? Arms, legs, toes.
Other body parts offer equally rich imagery. You would give your right arm for something you very much desire, implying you'd make a significant sacrifice.
I'd give my right arm for a cup of tea right now.
Huh. To tread on someone's toes is to upset or offend them, often by encroaching on their responsibilities or personal space. To point the finger at someone is to accuse them of wrongdoing.
Pointing the finger. Blaming.
If something made my toes curl, it means it made you feel extremely uncomfortable, embarrassed, or cringeworthy on behalf of someone else.
Oh, that toe-curling embarrassment. I know that feeling.
And to keep your finger on the pulse means to stay fully informed and up to date with current developments in a particular field or situation. These idioms, drawing from the most fundamental aspects of human experience, add incredible depth and nuance to descriptions of actions, feelings, or abilities.
It's truly amazing how much of our everyday language comes from these very concrete physical experiences. And speaking of everyday experiences, games and sport are another huge wellspring of idioms, which makes sense given their universal appeal. Cards, board games, ball games.
Absolutely. Many common pastimes have deeply permeated our language, often describing competition, strategy, fairness, and unexpected outcomes in various life situations. From card games and board games, we derive expressions like monopoly money for money that has no real value in the real world, often used ironically.
Right, like company expenses sometimes feel like monopoly money.
If the dice were loaded against me, it implies that success was virtually impossible due to unfair circumstances. Dicing with death means taking a very great, often reckless risk. A poker face person is someone who shows no emotion or expression, like a skilled poker player.
Keep that poker face, don't show your hand.
Exactly. To hold all the cards is to be in a position of power or advantage, while to play your cards close to your chest means not revealing your plans or intentions. And to play your ace or trump card is to use your main advantage or best resource at a crucial moment. These are fantastic for describing strategic interactions.
I can certainly see how those would be useful far beyond the game table. What about idioms from ball games, which are so globally popular? Football, cricket, baseball.
Ball games are incredibly rich sources of idioms. To move the goalpost means to unfairly change the rules or conditions of a situation during play, making it harder for others to succeed.
Moving the goalposts. Very frustrating.
If something knocked me for six, it surprised, shocked, or upset me greatly, a cricket term.
Knock for six. Taken aback.
To get the red card means to receive official criticism or dismissal for bad behavior, directly from football. If something is not cricket, it means it's not right, fair, or honorable behavior.
Not ticket. Very British, that one.
It is, yes. A whole new ball game is a completely different situation or set of circumstances. To play hardball means to be determined to get what you want, even using forceful or unfair methods. And to take a rain check is to politely refuse an invitation with the hope of doing it at another later time.
Can I take a rain check? Useful phrase.
Even boxing contributes vivid expressions. To not pull any punches means to speak honestly and directly, even if it's harsh. Someone punch drunk is tired, confused, or unable to think clearly, often from repeated blows. And below the belt refers to an unfair or unethical attack, literally a foul in boxing.
That comment was a bit below the belt, unfair.
These terms vividly describe competition, strategy, and fairness, making them powerful tools for advanced speakers to describe complex, real-world dynamics.
And some idioms even stretch back through the ages, rooted in ancient myths and history. This really adds a timeless, almost literary quality to advanced English, connecting us to stories passed down through generations. Greek myths, Roman history.
What's truly fascinating here is how these idioms connect our modern language to classical narratives and historical events, adding a profound layer of cultural literacy. An Achilles heel refers to a person's singular weak point or vulnerability, drawing from the Greek myth of the hero vulnerable only in his heel.
Everyone has an Achilles heel.
To open a Pandora's box means to create a cascade of new, often unexpected and uncontrollable problems, originating from the myth of Pandora unwittingly releasing evils into the world. The Midas touch refers to the remarkable ability to make money easily in any business venture, after the king in Greek mythology who turned everything he touched into gold.
He's got the Midas touch. Everything he does succeeds financially.
A Trojan horse is someone or something that appears harmless or beneficial, but is in fact intended to destroy from within, a direct reference to the cunning stratagem used to capture Troy.
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts or Trojan horses.
From Roman history to fiddle while Rome burns means to do something trivial, wasteful, or self-serving, while a serious, devastating situation's unfolding, referencing Emperor Nero.
Fiddling while Rome burns. Ignoring a crisis.
To rest on your laurels means to stop trying or innovating because you're content with your past achievements, drawing from the ancient Greek tradition of crowning victors with laurel wreaths. From ancient Greek or Roman times, to leave no stone unturned means to do absolutely everything possible to find something or solve a problem, a phrase attributed to the Oracle of Delphi.
We'll leave no stone unturned in our search. Be thorough.
The writing on the wall refers to an obvious sign that something bad is inevitably going to happen, from the biblical story of Belshazzar's feast. These idioms provide a deeper, often literary layer to advanced English, connecting current events to timeless stories and moral lessons.
And it's not just ancient history. Iconic literature, from Shakespeare to classic novels and even fairy tales, have profoundly shaped our everyday language, demonstrating the enduring power of storytelling. Shakespeare must be a huge source.
Absolutely. William Shakespeare alone is a linguistic goldmine, having coined countless phrases that are now part of our common idiom. The green-eyed monster is a vivid and enduring term for jealousy, straight from his tragedy Othello.
Ah, the green-eyed monster. Jealousy.
To do something at one fell swoop means suddenly and at the same time from Macbeth. If someone has eaten me out of house and home, they've consumed all the food and resources. A terrifying film can make your hair stand on end, from Hamlet, describing extreme fear.
Made my hair stand on end. Scary.
To do something in the twinkling of an eye means instantly, from The Merchant of Venice. A wild goose chase is a futile or pointless search, from Romeo and Juliet. To lay it on with a trowel means to praise excessively or insincerely.
Laying it on a bit thick there with the praise.
Star-crossed lovers are people destined for misfortune in love, and the course of true love never did run smooth. Highlights the inherent difficulties in romantic relationships, both from Romeo and Juliet. These idioms carry the profound weight of their original narratives, enriching their meaning for a C1, C2 speaker and adding a literary elegance to their speech.
That's incredible how those phrases, centuries old, are still so common and relevant today. What about other famous literary works beyond Shakespeare? Dickens, Austen, Orwell.
Other literature also contributes significantly to our idiomatic lexicon, demonstrating the cultural impact of storytelling. Big Brother from George Orwell's 1984 refers to an authoritarian figure or system that watches and controls everything.
Big Brother is watching you. Very relevant.
A Man Friday is a loyal and devoted personal assistant from Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. A Jekyll and Hyde character exhibits two distinct, often opposite personalities, one good and one evil, from Robert Louis Stevenson.
He's a real Jekyll and Hyde. You never know which one you'll get.
Prince Charming is the archetypal, ideal male romantic partner from fairy tales. An albatross around your neck is a persistent and inescapable burden or problem from Samuel Taylor Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
That debt became an albatross around his neck.
Ships That Pass in the Night refers to people who meet briefly and then go their separate ways, from a poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Castles in the Air describes unrealistic or impractical plans from various literary sources. A catch-22 situation is an impossible dilemma where you cannot win because of contradictory rules, from Joseph Heller's novel.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. A catch-22.
To go the whole hog means to do something completely and thoroughly. An ivory tower describes a detached academic or sheltered existence, often implying a lack of real-world engagement.
Academics in their ivory towers.
A storm in a teacup is a lot of fuss about something relatively unimportant. And to call a spade means to speak plainly, directly, and truthfully, even if it's blunt. These literary origins add a profound depth and cultural resonance to the idioms, allowing advanced learners to connect their language use to a rich tapestry of narratives.
From the ancient to the classical and now to the modern, how has science and technology influenced our idioms, reflecting contemporary life? Computers, space, engineering.
This category beautifully demonstrates how language adapts and expands to incorporate new fields and innovations. In positive context, at the cutting edge describes something at the most advanced or innovative stage of development.
Cutting-edge technology.
If information is hot off the press, it's very new and has just been made public, stemming from printing presses, but now used more widely for news.
Hot off the press, get the latest news.
A brilliant idea or invention is the brainchild of someone, and something that pushes all the right buttons, does exactly what's necessary to achieve a desired result or evokes a strong positive reaction. These are idioms of innovation, efficiency, and effectiveness. However, science and technology also contribute to idioms describing negative or problematic situations. If you're light years away from a goal, you're an extremely long distance off, implying vast separation.
We're light years away from finishing this project.
A machine on the blink isn't working correctly, often intermittently. To throw a spanner in the works, British English, or throw a wrench in the works, American English, is to do something that prevents a plan or process from succeeding.
That really threw a spanner in the works. Messed things up.
If something is not rocket science, it's not difficult or complicated to understand. To be reinventing the wheel is to waste time and effort creating something that already exists and works perfectly well.
Don't reinvent the wheel. Use what we have.
The humorous and pragmatic saying, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it," advises against making unnecessary changes. If a system goes haywire, it stops working normally and erratically, becoming chaotic. And if you're a small cog in the machine, you're an unimportant but necessary part of a large organization, often with little influence.
Just a small cog, feeling insignificant.
Other science and technology idioms include setting the wheels in motion to start a series of actions or a process, a gas guzzler for a fuel-inefficient car, and oiling the wheels to make a process or negotiation happen more easily. These expressions are perfect examples of how language is constantly enriched by new societal developments. And for C1, C2 learners, discerning their informal versus formal usage is key to sounding natural and sophisticated in different contexts.
That's a truly comprehensive look at where idioms come from, giving us so many more mental hooks for remembering them. Now, let's shift our focus from their origins to their practical application. How do idioms truly function in different communicative contexts beyond just their definitions? This is where they move beyond being mere words and into the realm of truly applying nuance to real-world communication.
You're right, this is where the rubber meets the road, as they say.
Ah, another one.
Exactly. What's particularly powerful is how idioms offer incredibly concise, vivid, and often emotionally charged descriptions that go far beyond what simple adjectives or literal phrases can convey. When describing people's character and behavior, idioms can paint a rich, nuanced picture that captures personality with efficiency.
So describing people, good and bad traits.
Both. For positive traits, if someone is a mine of information, they know a tremendous amount about many different things, making them an invaluable resource. A man or woman of many parts is skilled in diverse areas or professions, showcasing versatility. A whiz kid is a clever, successful, and often young person who achieves things quickly.
That new intern is a real whiz kid.
Someone with get up and go has abundant energy, enthusiasm, and initiative. And having strings to her bow means having many different skills or talents that can be used effectively. These idioms offer nuanced and often colorful praise. Conversely, for negative characteristics, the language often becomes more critical, humorous, or even biting. A glutton for punishment is someone who seems to enjoy hard work or unpleasant tasks, often to an extreme degree.
Working weekends again. You're a glutton for punishment.
Highly strung describes a person who is very nervous, easily upset, or anxious. To act or play the fool is to behave in a silly, often irresponsible way, often for laughs or to avoid responsibility. Someone who looks out for number one is overtly selfish, prioritizing their own interests above all else.
Always looking out for number one, aren't you? Selfish.
To eat somebody for breakfast means to easily control, defeat, or even humiliate them, often by speaking very angrily or aggressively. A love rat is a man who secretly has an affair or is unfaithful. A wet blanket is a person who discourages others from enjoying themselves, dampening enthusiasm.
Don't be such a wet blanket. Join the fun.
And a loose cannon is an unpredictable, uncontrolled, or untrustworthy person who is likely to cause damage. These idioms provide powerful, often critical shorthand for describing complex personalities and behaviors, adding significant depth and expressive power to your vocabulary at C1, C2 level.
It's clear how idioms can really bring a description to life, giving it personality and immediate impact. Now let's tackle a universal human experience, navigating problems and arguments. Idioms provide fantastic shorthand for describing conflict, resolution, and all the messy bits in between. Problems, fights, making up.
They absolutely do. When it comes to problems with situations, Idioms give us a concise and evocative way to express difficulty or frustration. A terrible or highly complicated situation is often simply referred to as a nightmare.
This project is a complete nightmare.
If you took your eye off the ball, you lost concentration or focus, leading to a mistake or missed opportunity. To sweep it under the carpet means to hide a problem or wrongdoing in the hope that it will be forgotten and not cause trouble.
Just sweep it under the carpet and hope no one notices. Risky.
To make a pig's ear of something means to do it very badly, with incompetence. If you're losing your touch, you're losing a previous skill or ability that you once had. A slap in the face is something hurtful, insulting, or upsetting, often an unexpected disappointment.
Not getting the promotion felt like a real slap in the face.
To think about something in the cold light of day means to consider it later, when you are calmer and can think more clearly and objectively. And to have lost the plot means to have gone crazy or become completely confused, losing your way or understanding.
He's completely lost the plot if he thinks that'll work. And what about problems involving other people directly? Those are often the trickiest to describe precisely. Arguments, disagreements.
Problems with people also have their own rich tapestry of idiomatic expressions that convey intricate social dynamics. If you put her nose out of joint, you upset or offended her, often by getting something she wanted or by appearing superior.
Don't put his nose out of joint by mentioning her success.
To be in over your head means to be involved in a difficult situation that is beyond your ability to manage, or similarly, to be in a tight corner spot means being in a very difficult or awkward position.
I'm really in a tight spot with this deadline.
If you can't see the wood for the trees, you're so involved in the details of the situation that you fail to grasp the larger, more important aspects. If someone pulled the rug from under our feet, they suddenly caused difficulties or withdrew crucial support, leading to a downfall.
They pulled the rug out from under us by canceling the funding.
To settle a score is to punish someone for a past wrong or to get revenge. And a chapter of accidents refers to a series of unlucky, unfortunate, or unexpected events. These are critical idioms for C1, C2 learners to understand the subtleties of social interactions and the language used to describe them in English.
So when we're directly having an argument, are there specific idioms to describe the heated dynamics of that too, the actual fight?
Absolutely. The language offers many ways to describe the act of disagreeing. A bone of contention is a subject or issue that causes a lot of disagreement or argument between people.
Money is often a bone of contention in families.
To have a bone to pick with someone means you're annoyed about something they did and want to discuss it with them. To argue the toss is to keep disagreeing about something that has already been decided or is not worth arguing about.
Stop arguing the toss. The decision is made.
Picking holes in something means finding mistakes or problems in an argument, plan, or piece of work, often critically. To put the cat amongst the pigeons is to say or do something that causes a lot of trouble in argument.
Mentioning the redundancies really put the cat amongst the pigeons.
A sticking point is a subject or issue about which two sides in an argument cannot agree. And if something is out of the question, it's impossible or not allowed. These phrases equip advanced learners with the precise vocabulary to describe the various stages and forms of a disagreement.
And after an argument, when you're reacting to an argument, or crucially moving on, idioms often offer pathways to peace or acceptance, which is equally important. Making peace, agreeing to disagree.
Yes, they certainly do. They provide a shorthand for the process of reconciliation or acceptance. To find common ground means to find topics or areas of agreement between disagreeing parties.
Let's try to find some common ground here.
When someone puts their foot down, they use their authority to make someone do or not do something, often firmly. To stand their ground is to refuse to change an opinion or position despite pressure.
She stood her ground during the negotiation.
To toe the line means to accept and obey the rules or authority of a group or organization. To put someone in their place means to let them know, often bluntly, that they are not as important or influential as they think.
He needed putting in his place after that comment.
To clear the air is to make bad feelings disappear, often by discussing a problem honestly. To let sleeping dogs lie means to ignore past problems or arguments to avoid creating new ones.
Maybe it's best to let sleeping dogs lie on that issue.
To hold out an olive branch is to show that you want an argument or disagreement to end and are willing to make peace. If something is water under the bridge, it's a past problem or difficulty that no one is upset about anymore, implying it's resolved and forgotten.
Don't worry about that argument. It's water under the bridge now.
And to let bygones be bygones means to forget a past disagreement or offense and move forward. These idioms are essential for advanced learners to grasp the nuances of social dynamics, from causing trouble to making peace, and to express these complex processes naturally. Beyond the nuances of human interaction and conflict, idioms are exceptionally powerful for expressing success and failure, and for adding emphasis or reacting to news and events, big wins, big losses.
Right, the highs and lows.
For instance, when it comes to success, the language is full of vivid and often triumphant imagery. If someone wins his spurs, they've done something to prove they deserve their position and have the necessary skills and courage, often at the beginning of a career.
Right.
A company that is riding high is very successful, prosperous, and often popular.
The team is riding high after 5 consecutive wins.
If someone comes up trumps, they've succeeded or produced a good result, especially when not expected to, often unexpectedly. A team on a roll is having a very successful period, winning repeatedly or achieving consistent positive results.
They're really on a roll at the moment, so it's not just about achievement, but about momentum and sustained positive performance, too.
Exactly. A new collection that went down a storm was extremely popular and well received. And if a company stays ahead of the game, they maintain their lead or advantage by knowing more about the latest developments than their competitors.
You need to innovate to stay ahead of the game.
Achieving a dream come true signifies the realization of a cherished ambition. To be on a high means feeling extremely happy and excited, often due to a recent success. Someone happy as Larry or full of the joys of spring is very happy indeed, expressing profound cheerfulness.
He was happy as Larry when he passed the exam.
If news is music to my ears, it makes you feel deeply happy and satisfied because it is exactly what you wanted to hear. And a happy-go-lucky person is always cheerful, unconcerned by potential problems, and never worries. These expressions allow you to convey triumph, joy, and positive disposition with natural flair and idiomatic authenticity. But then there's failure, which also has its own rich idiomatic tapestry, often conveying disappointment, futility, or complete collapse.
The flip side of the coin.
Precisely. If a performance or idea went down like a lead balloon, people did not like it at all. It failed completely to impress.
My joke went down like a lead balloon. Silence.
A paper tiger seems strong or threatening, but is actually weak and ineffective. A double whammy refers to 2 bad things happening at the same time, one after the other, compounding the negative effect. Starting a venture without proper planning is often described as a recipe for disaster, indicating an inevitable bad outcome.
Investing without research. That's a recipe for disaster.
If someone couldn't cut the mustard, they couldn't deal with the difficulties or perform to the required standard. A business built on sand is not firmly established or supported, implying it will fail easily. The kiss of death is an event or action that causes a plan or project to fail or be destroyed.
Getting his endorsement was the kiss of death for the campaign.
If something is dead in the water or as dead as a dodo, it has failed completely and will never succeed or no longer exists. Dead wood refers to useless members of a group who should be removed. A dead duck is something that is not successful or useful or a person in a hopeless situation. And if something dealt a death blow, it caused complete and irreversible failure. These categories highlight the intense emotional and evaluative power of idioms. For advanced learners, using these makes their reactions sound not just correct, but natural and impactful, resonating deeply with native speakers.
And you mentioned idioms that add emphasis. How do those work? Often with seemingly simple words, like using half.
Yes. Idioms involving the word half are often used for emphasis, either positively or negatively, demonstrating how even common words can be twisted for effect. For positive emphasis, if you say not half, it's an emphatic agreement, meaning very much so.
Was it good? Not half, meaning very good.
Exactly. For instance, it isn't half busy in here, means it's extremely busy. If something is half the battle, it's the most difficult or crucial part of achieving a goal. A game and a half is something very special, impressive, or surprising, implying an extraordinary experience. If you're given half a chance, you eagerly seize an opportunity.
Given half a chance, I'd travel the world.
On the negative side, if someone is too clever by half, they're confident and smart in an annoying, often arrogant way. These expressions allow you to intensify your meaning with idiomatic authenticity, adding a layer of sophisticated nuance. Finally, we have idioms for reactions to news and events, which are vital for natural conversational flow, responding to things.
Yeah, those little phrases that show you're listening and reacting.
Precisely. If the plot thickens, something has happened to make a strange or mysterious situation even more complicated and intriguing. Saying, "I thought as much," means you suspected or predicted the outcome.
He resigned. I thought as much.
What is the world coming to? Expresses shock, dismay, or disapproval at current events or behavior, implying a decline in standards. Don't get me wrong, as a crucial softening phrase said before you criticize someone or say something negative, to ensure your overall intention isn't misunderstood.
Don't get me wrong, I like him, but he talks too much.
To get a life is an informal, often blunt suggestion for someone to stop doing boring or useless things and find more exciting or meaningful activities. If something will all end in tears, it means it will inevitably end badly or in failure. You've got me there. Means you don't know the answer to a question or challenge.
What's the capital of Kyrgyzstan? You've got me there.
Do me a favor. Expresses disbelief or strong disagreement, often ironically. Wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Means you completely distrust someone. Fair enough, accepts another's point of view as reasonable.
Okay, fair enough. I see your point.
And time will tell. Means the truth or outcome of a situation will only become clear in the future. For advanced learners, using these makes their reactions sound spontaneous, natural, and impactful, adding layers of meaning beyond simple statements and demonstrating true fluency in conversational dynamics.
Wow, what an incredible journey through the sheer variety and expressive power of English idioms. We've truly seen how they operate as linguistic snapshots, painting vivid pictures in our everyday conversations and professional communications. You've gotten an inside look at how these expressions function, from describing people and navigating complex problems to celebrating successes and reacting to events, and you've picked up some invaluable insights into their cultural and historical roots. But the real question for our C1 and C2 listeners is, how do you actually master them? It's not always easy, is it? But there are definitely effective strategies beyond just memorization.
You're absolutely right. It's an ongoing, active process that moves beyond passive recognition. A major difficulty, as we discussed right at the outset, is that idioms are fixed expressions.
Right, that fixedness again.
You cannot casually change their words or their word order,
Yep.
except in very specific, deliberate instances where you are explicitly playing with the language for rhetorical effect, like those headlines we saw.
Okay.
Therefore, for C1 and C2 learners, accuracy is paramount. It is critically important to use idioms precisely as they are, without alteration, to convey the intended meaning and sound natural. Slight changes can lead to misunderstanding or simply sound incorrect. Beyond accuracy, context is king.
Context, context, context.
Knowing when and where to use an idiom is just as, if not more, important than simply knowing its literal meaning. Always make a special note if an idiom is described as very informal, humorous, or specific to a certain niche, and be extremely careful not to use informal idioms in formal situations.
So sick as a parrot probably wouldn't work in a board meeting.
Probably not. A humorous idiom found in a newspaper headline might be completely inappropriate in an academic essay or a formal business presentation. This awareness of register and audience is a hallmark of advanced proficiency.
So it's about being incredibly selective and intentional, not just throwing them in everywhere.
Exactly. It's about precision and application. To greatly aid your learning, leverage high-quality reference resources. You need a good learner's dictionary, ideally one that specifically focuses on idioms or provides extensive coverage of them.
Dictionaries are key.
Yes, the best resources provide not just definitions, but also authentic examples of how idioms are used in sentences and, crucially, offer information on their usage, such as whether they are humorous, informal, or literary. Look for dictionaries that are corpus-based.
Corpus-based, meaning based on real language use.
Exactly. Based on vast collections of real spoken and written English to give you the most authentic picture of how idioms are used by native speakers. This provides reliable models. For active learning and memory aids, our research suggests several incredibly practical tips that move beyond rote learning.
Okay, practical tips. Let's hear them.
You can help yourself remember these idioms by writing sentences about situations where you personally experience the feelings or situations they describe.
Make it personal.
Yes. For example, if you're learning "made my toes curl," conjure up a specific memory of a time you felt extremely embarrassed for someone else and write a sentence about it. You can even draw pictures to help you remember the idioms. A visual connection, however simple or humorous, can create a powerful and lasting memory link, making the abstract concrete.
Draw a picture of curling toes.
Why not? Another fun and engaging idea is to do an internet search for company names with puns. Then, Challenge yourself to find 3 puns that you can explain, as this often involves a playful manipulation of idioms or common phrases.
Okay, like a wordplay exercise.
And finally, dedicate a special page in your vocabulary notebook to idioms from a particular topic, like sailing or parts of the body, and see how many you can actively collect and understand. This thematic approach can greatly enhance retention.
Those are fantastic practical tips that go beyond just reading a list. And I imagine observation in the real world is key too, just listening and reading.
Absolutely. Observation and immersion are vital, continuous processes for advanced learners. Make a conscious, proactive effort to look out for idioms being used in headlines and advertisements, as these are often hotbeds of idiomatic language and creative wordplay.
Pay attention to the world around you.
Newspapers and magazines are an exceptionally good place to find idioms in use, because they are constantly deploying them to engage readers, add humor, or convey complex ideas concisely. The more you expose yourself to natural, authentic English in its various forms, the more these idiomatic patterns will become evident, and your ear will attune to their nuances. Finally, reinforcing what we discussed earlier, remember that understanding the origins of idioms can also significantly help to fix their meaning in your memory.
Knowing the story behind them.
Knowing the historical, cultural, or metaphorical root of an idiom, whether it's from sailing, mythology, or body parts, gives it an extra layer of meaning, making it much easier to recall, understand, and use appropriately in your own communication. It transforms them from random phrases into meaningful, rooted expressions.
That's a truly powerful and comprehensive toolkit for anyone on their C1 and C2 English journey. It's a continuous process, certainly, but with these strategies and this deeper understanding, you can absolutely elevate your English to that truly fluent, natural, and native-like level. Wow, what a deep dive that was into the fascinating, intricate, and utterly essential world of English idioms. We've journeyed from their fixed, precise nature to their diverse and often surprising origins in everything from ancient myths to modern technology. We've seen how they paint incredibly vivid pictures in our everyday conversations and enhance professional communications. You've gotten an inside look at how these expressions function, from describing people and navigating complex problems to celebrating successes and reacting to events, and you've picked up some invaluable, actionable tips for mastering them.
Indeed. And as you continue your C1 and C2 journey, it's worth remembering that idioms aren't just isolated vocabulary words to be memorized. They are linguistic snapshots of shared human experience, cultural values, historical echoes.
Little windows into the culture.
Exactly. They are where language truly comes alive, allowing you to express complex ideas with remarkable brevity, profound impact, and natural flair. Mastering them is not just about sounding more native.
So that's a great goal.
It is, but it's also about seeing the world through a richer, more nuanced linguistic lens, unlocking a deeper connection to the English-speaking world, and expanding your very capacity for expression. It really opens things up.
And that wraps up another deep dive. If you found this exploration as intriguing and valuable as we did, please do hit that like button. Share this deep dive with fellow English learners who are also striving for that advanced level, and subscribe to our channel for more insights into the English language. Your support really helps us keep diving deep and bringing you more content like this. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep speaking English with confidence, color, and undeniable authenticity.